Final topic. Xbox 2015. Going down the games. Halo 5. Just that's it?
I totally it's just and I'm not, it's just playing it. It was like, right, this is Halo and this is why I'm not a Halo fan. Like, I just felt it was, I'm playing co-op with Christine, you know what I mean? We got halfway through the game in a night. Thought it was sterile, forgettable. I understand why people love it. I played multiplayer for a couple hours. I was like, all right, yeah, cool. But it's just like, it's time to admit that I'm just not a Halo fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm on the other side of that completely, where it's like, I played a bit of the single player, and it's just like, this is why I like Halo.
And that's great. I'm glad you like it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean, there was a couple things that it's not Halo. I've talked about this before, but the lack of the couch co-op, I'm like, well, fuck, that took away my Halo experience.
Right.
And so I was upset about that. I'm not so much an online guy, so like multiplayer doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, the single player overall, not the best story. So it was a forgettable Halo game, but not, I wouldn't say it.
Just for me, the Greg Miller, not as a critic, just as Greg Miller playing games over there. Wanting to play Destiny instead of this.
Yeah.
Because Destiny's more fun and progressive.
Gears Remastered. Or Ultimate Edition.
Right.
Whatever you call it.
Played it for Let's Plays with Alfredo. I was like, oh, cool. Never went back to it. I was never, I mean, I'm one of the guys who appreciates what Gears does. I think I've played every Gears. Like, I mean, we did the Gears 3 thing at IGN. I definitely played Gears 2. Gears 1, I didn't have it 1, but I played it at a friend's house. So I'm like, yeah, more Gears, cool. And it was like, but it's not like something that drew me back where I felt like I needed to go play it.
Yeah, the only Gears game I played, I beat 1 back in the day.
Yeah.
And then seeing this was like, oh shit,
looks
it's
way
pretty.
better. Yeah.
Did you play it at all?
Not remastered, no.
But that's another one kind of seemed like it came and went. But I guess that's just with all the remasters.
Yeah,
and ports
remaster.
and
It's just
stuff.
like it's going to speak to an audience, right? And then we'll see what happens.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Woo-wee! Rise of the Tomb Raider. That was a game, Tim. A game that everyone should play. You can't because it's not on every console. And it didn't really sell well because it's fall ate its lunch. But yeah, great game, man. That's another, we were talking about it earlier in this show, like the gameplay loops, right? Like that game has a great gameplay loop of like, I've got to a new area and the mission is on the other side of the area, but fuck, I see a coin chest over there and I'm going to take this side mission and that just unlocked all these new things and oh crap, I'm close to it. And then like 2 hours later, you've 100% of the area and you're like, now let's go do the story quest and let's move on there. Beautiful, fun. It's a game that I feel like at the end kind of does the video game thing I hate where it's like, let's give you some of the most annoying parts to remember us by. And it's like, ugh. And like the thing, of course, is that if I was into achievements and wanted 1,000% that game or 1,000 point it, I would then have gone back and replayed the stuff I missed, the caves and whatnot, and it wouldn't be my last impression of the game wouldn't have been these 3 corridors of let's fight fucking every enemy, even though fighting's not the fun part of this game. So I wouldn't have that. But for me right now, as somebody who's like, well, I'm done now, let's finish this experience. That's where it ends for me. But I can't say enough nice things about that game. Great game, really fun. It's the original Tomb Raider amplified. So if you didn't like, I thought the story was really forgettable in the original Tomb Raider. I fight a ghost witch or something at the end, if I remember correctly. This one in 3 years will be the same way of like, I remember
on what happened.
There was this guy and these people and they wanted that, and then at the end they were totally setting up for a third, so that's what they did, you know.
Rare Replay. I want to give a shout out to that, just as being one of the best compilation games I've ever played. It made me care about games I don't care about. And, you know, we did a Let's Play series where we kind of played through all of them, even a lot of the really early, really shitty games. But it was fun that they presented it in a way that made me want to try them out and want to appreciate them for what they are. I loved the whole theater look of it, and I loved all the modes that they added, the challenge modes and the I forgot what they were called, but like maybe they were replays. The ones where you go in and like it just gives you here's what you should play this game for. Like Battletoads, you play it and they gave you that speeder bike part like just right away and got you straight into it. I really wish that other compilations would have that level of love and care put into them.
Yeah, I was really impressed by them. I was glad to hear that it sold better than they thought, beat their projections, and yeah, there was a lot of respect put into that collection, and did bring back some obscure games, a lot of obscure games, and definitely educated people on who Rare is and celebrated a history that I think is kind of lost to the ages now. Maybe Microsoft's tip of the hat that Rare is not really alive anymore. At least that was kind of what I walked away from. It was like, here's what Rare was and what evolve into what they're going to be, and they really haven't been Rare in a long time anyway. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. There's definitely a lot of respect put in, a lot of love. I agree, and happy to see some of those old games shine again. Yeah.
IDARB.
Oh,
iDarb's great.
iDarb was fantastic.
Really, really good.
Really, that was a really fun time when we were all playing that.
Yeah. It's one of those. I feel like there's a lot of multiplayer games like that with that like kind of aesthetic, like Towerfall and Brawlhalla. There's things like that. They're just like, hey, just pick up and play. It's a 2D fucking game, but they're fun. And I think iDarb specifically added that just insanity level.
Yeah, exactly.
Of like, why
crazy ass announcer? The hashtag's going over. So one of us figures out how to dash before the rest of us, and then you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and it's just like again, it's why we play games. It's fun.
Yeah.
So we should bust that one out.
Yeah, totally.
At some point, do a second let's play of it or third let's play.
We did. Yeah, we did a bunch actually.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, very pretty. Very
very very pretty game. Very awesome game. I'm happy there's a definitive version coming out and all that. I like that Xbox had that because I feel like forever Xbox was kind of missing that level game. You think Xbox, you definitely think Forza and Halo and Gears and stuff.
You wanted that artisanal platformer, and Ori gave it to you in space.
Gave it to me good.
Yeah.
Did
you play a lot?
I didn't. I still haven't beat it.
Okay.
But they do the thing that I fucking hate where it's like I got far into it, but not far enough to once they announced like the definitive edition where I was like, oh, I should just probably wait. And,
sure.
But yeah, I mean, I love it. And I love that it felt different than games like that. Like it's a Metroidvania kind of game, but it doesn't feel that way. It's not so much just like the physics of it are weird where you jump and you have to kind of like go the slingshotting type stuff that you have to do with the jumps.
Yeah.
I like when I'm playing a game and it's kind of like Guitar Hero where I'm playing, I'm like, I'm not familiar with this. This feels different. I'm not good at it. Oh, I'm getting better at it. Oh, now I can do this. Now I can just kind of zip through the thing.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, just the first 15 minutes of that game is emotional as shit. It's like a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And it's like anything that I can relate to a Pixar movie, I'm into. So big fan of my boy Ori. And then Forza Motorsport happened, which wouldn't matter to any of us except for the fact that there was the Fast and Furious DLC. And that shit was awesome. Like, man, like that, they really nailed that. Like, it felt like Fast and Furious. They added a whole bunch of dumb shit and just VO and like stupid songs over, like just play it on repeat. And like, they took a game and made me care about it. Like,
yeah, that's good.
And it was really fun. It was like, it's a fun 2 hours that you just, in and out. And it made me realize how much I want a Fast and Furious Telltale game.
Oh.
And one day.
You got to pitch it to him next time we're on Job.
Yeah. Right. So I mean that's it kind of for the Xbox
Fuck
games.
that. State of Decay. Year 1 Survival Edition. Come on, son. That was great. That guy, State of Decay on Xbox 360/PC back in the day. McCaffrey and I did a bunch of Let's Plays leading into it. I was super into it, and it was that thing. Yeah, it came out at E3. And came back exhausted and tried to play and I two ships in the night. So when it finally came here, man, that was it. Like that's the most I played my Xbox One. You know what I mean? Like in a condensed period of there was a week where I shut down and that's all I played. And as soon as I was done with something, I was back out there to fill my rucksacks and clear off the map and go get this. Them
rucksacks, yeah.
Got to do it. You don't understand, man. I got to make my settlement big.
You've got to.
Got to. So that was a great one. And I'm really excited to see what Undead Labs does next.
So what are your thoughts on Xbox overall? In terms of like conferences and announcements and just their year.
They had really good conferences. Yeah. They had really good announcements. I mean, we go back to the fact, at E3, Colin has said it before. I think I agree with him that the biggest announcement was the backwards compatibility, right? Like they're there. Like it's what I love about Xbox right now is that it's weird, right? Because we're PlayStation fans. Obviously, that's where our history lies. That's where our coverage lies. We've covered that beat for so long. But you cheer for Xbox because they are the underdogs now, and they keep making the right moves. They keep coming out and saying the right things. They keep making business decisions that are based on, is this good for games? You know what I mean? That's what Phil Spencer has been all about when Aaron Greenberg was here with you guys and listened to that podcast. You know what I mean? Like, they're cognizant of where their missteps were and how they need to fix them and go forward. And it seems like it's Everest, and are they going to be able to get up that mountain? Because PlayStation continues now to dominate out there, and it's one of those things where I think in the old days it was so easy in a console war to sit around and pick a side and be like, "Fuck those other guys," da 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 da. And now everybody has these spokespeople, these voices, these faces that you connect with. And it's like I want Phil Spencer to win. I want him to have it, I want him to be as successful as Shuhei Yoshida. I want these things to be out there and have it where like Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out and is an amazing game and sells really well. You know what I mean? Because it sucks when it doesn't, because then people aren't playing it, this, that, and the other. And will Crystal Dynamics ever recover from like all these different things? It's like, it's just, everybody's human now. And that's awesome. That's what I love about it. You know what I mean? Like everyone is human now. So you sit there and it's like, man, Nintendo's year wasn't great, but we know people over there that are all great, Corey and Reggie and all these different, it's like, I want them to do well. Same thing here. I think Xbox made all the right calls, all the right decisions, and it didn't pay off in the monumental. They're back on top, and now it's this race where they're gonna trade the lead back and forth. I don't know what it looks like next year. Now the next year is like, if they stick to their messaging of games, and Sony does this PlayStation VR thing, let's say that doesn't work out, what does that do to Xbox?
Yeah, definitely interesting. So just kind of adding into this topic, we also got PC games and mobile games. Hold on. Shit's going crazy right now.
Shit's going crazy on your mobile device.
Yeah, it is.
Wake me when all your mobile device games come to Vita in 4 years.
So for PC, we had, at least on my list, there's Her and Emily is Away.
Her Story?
A whole bunch. Yes, Her Story. And
I was like, Her was a great movie with the Joaquin Phoenix that I really dug.
Yeah, so I didn't play Her Story.
Have you seen that yet, Colin? No. That is a movie you need to see. It's about AI and technology and future. No, this is one of the ones where I'm doing the stress thing to tell you have to watch it. Good haircut, by the way.
So did you play Her Story?
No.
So it was just you?
Yeah, it was Nick and I, right?
I don't remember.
I know it wasn't you. Then it was
no.
Nick and I. Yes. And I think one of the only Let's Plays we've ever taken down and then didn't put back up.
Oh, yeah.
Because the audio got all fucked up in it or whatever.
Yeah.
Great game. Really amazing performances. And it was another one, if you don't know Her Story, which is possible, it's like Gone Home. Don't know anything about it. Just jump in and play, because that's what we did. Mm-hmm. Everyone was talking about it. We sat down and they started up and you're at a computer terminal.
Yeah.
In first person. I was like, what the fuck is this? And you start piecing it together and those like, wait, search this. Holy shit. Oh my God. Do this. Da-da-da. Like, it's awesome. Like, I hope that game, I mean, obviously for selfish reasons, I hope it gets ported to consoles so you could do it. It won't, because it's keyboards and everything else. So everyone should just go play it on PC. It was that much fun.
I was shocked to see it win so big at the Game Awards.
I mean,
I think that's a good sign for it, because there's certain games that, we have a lot of friends in the industry.
Right.
So when something happens, you know about it pretty instantly, because everyone's tweeting like, you got to play Gone Home. This was one of those things. You got to play this. Oh, I'm loving this right now, whatever. But it's like, there's that weekend. And if you miss that weekend, you never hear about it again, because people are on to the next thing. And to see this game, like, I haven't heard about it since, everyone was talking about it. You're like, we got to do a Let's Play. Let's do this. Then it kind of went silent. Yeah. Didn't hear anything about it. And all of a sudden it's winning shit. I'm like, that's great for that. Like, same thing with Gone Home, where it's like, I feel like it did have that moment of conversation and then it dropped off, but then eventually got to the mainstream because of the awards and stuff. So,
no, Her Story was great. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. And then Emily is Away. My God.
You want to talk about, like, I'm doing a piece for Game Informer and for Giant Bomb of my top 10 games, and where Emily is Away lands on it, and I'm sure it'll be in the same spot when we do our video 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now, yeah.
Like, totally, man. I could not believe how high that ranked, because it is one of those things where, it's a short game. Our Let's Play's 50 minutes, you know what I mean? And that's with us hemming and hawing and being idiots.
And replaying
but it's like,
it too.
It's all realistic of us hemming and hawing, and like, such a trip.
It got emotion out of us.
What I kept talking about, and when I talked to people about Emily is Away, is the fact that it's like, you have to understand, sitting there and playing that game in my spare bedroom for kind of funny with Tim next to me or whatever. Fuck that. Like, in my head, I am at my desk freshman year at Mizzou with my huge Toshiba, looking out at this. Like, it's all right there, because this was life. This was it, where you leave these people and you then start talking to them through AIM messaging and like picking the right buddy icon and then picking the right response and all this stuff. And like the way you and I sat back, I'm like, well, what are we saying? What do we do? And
well, what's funny is like you say that like you're not in this room, you're by yourself, whatever. To me, it's not even by yourself. Like those memories are having someone next to you. And it's like, what should I say? What should I say? Yeah. And you overthink it and like talk it over and like rewrite it 10 times. Like, oh, that game, it did something.
Yeah,
man. And
emotional.
I'm so happy that I recently looked at the numbers for it. Like the Let's Play is over 50,000 views, which puts it in the upper echelon of our Let's Plays.
That's awesome, because when it first came out, it wasn't moving numbers, and I was like, guys, like I'm not even talking about our performance. Like you need to see this game if you're ever gonna play this game.
And I love that. I love that it's like it's. I want Kind of Funny to be known for that type of stuff. It's for those moments where it's like, we genuinely enjoy this.
Right.
You know, it reminds me of your Batman v Superman reaction.
Sure.
Like, who gives a shit what everyone else thinks? Like, you genuinely love this thing.
Right.
And it's great. Emily is Away. Highly recommend it.
Do it.
Definitely check that shit out. Is there any other PC games? I'm sure there's a bazillion, but I'm talking about that we really care about.
We connected with?
Because it's out of our normal wheelhouse.
What was the one where we jacked the car off?
Oh.
Drive Shaft or no? That was Charlie's band.
Shift.
Find the jack. It was just jacking a car off. It's not everything. Shit. There was one that I had a momentary glance at. Jacking the car off is what I said, and that made me think of something else.
I remember the game
Party Hard. I enjoyed Party Hard. That's finally out or whatever, or Green Light or whatever.
Oh yeah. There was one. I don't think it's out yet, but we played the early version of it. that it was like a very sterile white stuff. And
Super hot.
Super
Super
hot. Super hot. Yeah.
Super hot.
Awesome.
That game's
awesome
dope,
concept. Man. Really cool game. I love the Steam Greenlight stuff brings a lot of bad shit.
Yeah.
It's like mobile games. Like there's like so much bad.
Sure.
But then it does allow the like really cool random thing to come through.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was a big fan of that. Do you have any?
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't think I played much on I played
Civ
Civilization 5. That's pretty much the only PC game I play.
And then for mobile, I do got to give a couple shout outs because I have put so much out. Like Peggle Blast, I talked about it all year. It came out at the tail end of last year, but I didn't start playing until this year.
Sure.
And there's a lot of problems with it just in terms of microtransactions and this and that. You've heard it all before.
You find you could hard boot your phone to get around it.
Yeah, but there was a new update they put out recently that gives you a lot more lives and gives you some shit. And man, I'm telling you, Peggle Blast is the best Peggle game that ever happened. Like when you don't have to deal with the bullshit.
Sure.
Like it's not too hard to get around it. But I mean, you saw me. Anytime we were on a trip, I was fucking going through that shit. And it's like, if you could platinum this game, I would platinum this game. It is just so much fun. There's so much to do. And, Peggle's always been cool because it is just a simple brick breaking game. But then with the powers and stuff and just the stupid ass music that plays and like, it just, adds a fresh twist to it. And Peggle Blast, I think, is ideal because it's on a mobile phone where you play vertically instead of the horizontal version that you normally do with Peggle. It gives you so much more real estate. It just changed the game up enough. And I'm like, shit, I'm fucking addicted to this. There was no game I was more addicted to than Peggle Blast. Lara Croft Go.
Oh, yeah.
Very fun, very cool. I liked that it felt like a more fully featured game, even though it was on mobile. My biggest problem was that it's a tease. It's such a tease at what could have been a really fun, challenging, difficult puzzle game. It ended up just being kind of a puzzle game where you play it and you're like, I know exactly what I need to do.
Yeah, you always said this. It was never hard enough, right?
Yeah. You see the room, you have all the things, you look at it, you're like, all right, I need to move this thing there. So then it just kind of becomes about going through the motions of doing it.
Sure.
But it's still fun to do, and it's still cool to see. And I love the art style of it. I love the music, and just the visuals are just really, really engaging. And it's a fun Lara Croft game. Like, it reminded me a lot of the old Tomb Raider games. And we saw we had them on the panel in PAX Prime, yeah. And they're talking about how we made a game that was what we remember Tomb Raider being, and it's like, that really is this.
Nice.
Like, it's much better than the original Tomb Raider games. Yeah, there is many of them jumping around. Pac-Man 256. Did you play it?
No, I heard good things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, which is kind of like, it's just Pac-Man, but back in the day, Pac-Man, the 256 level, when you got there was like a glitch where everything would start glitching, and they're like, let's make a fucking game out of that. And it kind of just became this thing where it's an endless scrolling Pac-Man game where you just kind of keep having to go up as the bottom of the screen kind of just rises with this like glitches and shit. And it's just a score attack thing, and like, it's randomly generated, and it's fun. Pac-Man, just like techno music, just blaring and shit. And it's definitely a playing game for me. I enjoy that. And the one that doesn't get talked about enough is Horizon Chase. You like Cruising USA, and I don't know why you wouldn't. This is the game for you. It just takes that stupid arcadey racing from the 90s thing where it's just like, you just go and you perfectly drift around everything without having any skill at all.
Sure.
Really, you just hold it, you just go, and then it's left and right, and it just kind of like auto does it. But it's addicting, and it's fun, and there's the stupid like dancing girls at the end and stuff, and it's exactly.
Now we know why Tim likes it.
Oh yeah, I'm all into it. But yeah, the soundtracks are great and everything. It's very 90s. It's very Tim. I'm a big fan of that. Those are my mobile games.
Tim's Mobile Game Shack.
Yeah, gotta give him the shout outs.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was 2015.
Whoa,
man.
Hey, man. Danky Arnhem nugs.
Yeah, man, you got them danky Arnhem nugs.
What are your favorite games 2015? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure you come back next week where we will be predicting 2016. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be a lot of fun. One day, I predict that I'm going to get that fucking championship.
I'm never letting it go.
It's going to happen.
Toadstool Tour is the next one, so start
God.
fucking practicing.
Oh, shit.
You bitch.
Yep. Thank you so much for everything. Till next time.